Hello, welcome to Owl About Yarn, episode 1. It's the 11th of April 2015. I'm Jenny, I live in Cardiff in Wales. I have never podcasted before and I'm really looking forward to really getting stuck in. I'm looking forward, if truth be told, to about 5, 10, maybe 15 episodes in when I'm not nervous, I know what I'm doing and I remember to look at the camera more often. Anyway, I knit, crochet, spin, dye yarn, and I've been watching podcasts for a couple of years now. The first one I watched was Wolf Farms over in California, Dawn and James, and they're just so friendly. You really feel as if you're sitting across the table from them, and to the extent that my daughter, who is 3 nearly, would quite often chat back to the TV, and I took a little video of her asking Dawn for a cuddle once when she was just less than a year old, I think, which was just so cute because she really felt as if Dawn was talking to her. Other podcasts that I've been inspired by are the audio podcast The Knitmore Girls, the Bakery Bears, the Geeky Girls up in Edinburgh, Cece and Damaris, Twitch and Stitch with Very Little, the Knitting Den with Denise, and Tilly Trout. I mean, there are other podcasts that I watch, but they're the main ones that I try never to miss an episode. And I'm trying to find time to add more in. I watched Pink Hair Girl Knits the other day. That was lovely, so I'll definitely be watching hers again. There's just not enough hours in the day, though, to watch all the podcasts, do all the knitting, all the spinning, and look after the husband and the 3 kids and make sure that they eat and have clean clothes. So, I've been knitting since I was about 5. I've been crocheting since I was about 7. A friend introduced me to spinning by giving me a drop spindle 3-4 years ago, and I enjoyed it, but I'm not that patient, so I didn't really properly feel a real love for it until I got my wheel at Christmas. A friend was selling her wheel and I was lucky enough to have it, and I could sit there for days and just spin and spin and spin. So I dare say that there'll be some hand spun yarns being shown. I knit. If I'm sitting down, I'm either knitting, I'm spinning, or I'm thinking about knitting or spinning. I feel very uncomfortable sitting watching the TV doing nothing, so that's something that my family have got used to, and all my friends know now that I've usually got knitting in my bag somewhere to be getting on with. Anyway, I'm feeling really, really nervous, and I'm sorry if I'm garbling. Hopefully, as I say, I'll get less nervous as I carry on, but can we just pretend that I've been doing this for months and months and months, and you all know everything about me, because I'm sure you'll pick it all up over the time anyway, and I'll just dive straight in to what I'm knitting at the moment. So, my long-term project that I'm knitting is a sock yarn blanket. It's a free pattern on Ravelry by Shelley Kang. I was inspired again by Dawn on Wolf Farms, and I'm loving it. I'm doing as the pattern says and casting on 30 stitches and then mitering that off. So if I come out of the way, I'll be able to show you that this is how far I've got. Oh, does it all fit in? Does it all fit? Not quite. Well, anyway, I think it's about 11 squares by 10. Ignore the ends. The ends will get woven in eventually. I love it. And in fact, I'm a glutton for punishment. I love it so much, I started another one. This is my teeny tiny weeny baby sock yarn blanket. Now this one, I had the idea, what if I used the yarns that I dye and just them, so that if I get to fulfil my ambition of displaying and exhibiting my yarns and fibres at a big fibre festival, I could use this as a display item, because then it's got a little bit of every colour, more or less, that I dye. So far there's only 5, but I do have a full bag, Doctor Who, love Doctor Who, a full bag of samples, plus I've got one or two more in here. Now, at the bottom are all the mini skeins from the last few dyeing sessions I've had. Can't really see the colours properly, I'm not going to bother pulling them all out because there's about 50 of them, but at the bottom are all mine that I've dyed, and then towards the top are ones that have been sent to me. I did a swap recently and I've got a couple more bits to show you from that. And then there was a swap on a Ravelry group, a second swap that I did, and she very kindly sent me these, you see them through the bag, little samples, which will be going into the main sock yarn blanket, the big one. So I've got enough anyway, between all of this and this, to be keeping me going for a while. It'll keep me out of mischief for a good long while. Right, throw that out of the way. The other thing I'm working on at the moment, I need to remember, look, there, not there. The other thing I'm working on at the moment is a pair of socks. Hermione's Everyday, so if you see there's the textured pattern. This is my yarn, it's Owl About Yarn Sparkle Owl, in the Summer Garden self-striping colourway. Unfortunately, it's out of stock now, I've sold out, but I love it because, can you see the little sparkles? Oh, sorry, I make silly noises when I get excited about sparkles. Yeah, sparkles make me happy. And in fact, I'm wearing a pair of socks that I knitted, Stitch Surfers, which have sparkly yarn in as well. You've got to have some sparkly yarn in your day to make you happy. So, I've got another inch or two before I start doing the toe, and then I'll be on the second one. But this is taking forever because I'm taking a little bit of a break from knitting to do my spinning at the moment. At the moment, I'm spinning some Countess Ablaze fibre, but that's on my wheel downstairs, so I'll show you that next time, because hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be finished, and I'll be able to show you the finished braid. But I did... oh, here they are. I've got things all round me. I've surrounded myself with things to show you, so I'm trying to find where I've put everything. My most recent spin is this skein of Hilltop Cloud fibre. It's a blend of merino, Falkland, silk and silk noil. Can you see the lumps? I know the light isn't great on here, and the bits of purple coming through. I think you can see that. Oh yeah, look, there's a really good one up here, over here somewhere. Oh, there it is. I spun this. It's the first time that I've spun singles to keep as singles and not with the intention of keeping it and not applying it. So I spun it up, gave it a really good agitate in a hot bath, and hopefully I'm thinking of making a handbrake cowl with this. Now, handbrake cowl is a paid for pattern on Ravelry, but it's only £1, which, I don't know, what's that going to be, about $1.50? And all of the profits from that are going to be going to cancer research, which is a brilliant charity. So the handbrake cowl has been designed by Dan and Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears podcast, in order to raise money for this charity. So if you haven't bought one, as I say, it's on Ravelry, go and buy one. I've bought one. If you know any knitters, apart from yourself, buy it for them. It's a really, really worthwhile cause, and I think I heard that they'd sold more than 500, and this is just the first week of it being released. I don't think I'm making that up, but I'm sure it was going to be really, really successful anyway, because they're just such lovely people on their podcast, and it's a brilliant podcast. Go and watch it. Bakery Bears. Anyway, so yes, that's what this is going to be. That's going to be a handbrake cowl. I might not get to it till May, because I'm having a month of not very much knitting, but I'll get there, and I think it will be nice and warm and lovely, and it's nice against your skin. So it's going to be a nice warm autumn winter cowl for later in the year. I'll be all prepared and ready this year with my new things to wear. It'll be beautiful. So that's the first one I wanted to show you. The second one is this, and that is my own Owl About Yarn Blue Faced Leicester fibre in the Girly Girl colourway, and I've got 298 yards out of 100 grams, and it's 2-ply, and this one is going to become a Bon Bon Bunny by Susan Claudino. I've seen these all over Instagram and he's just so cute. So I need to buy some eyes I'm thinking of going to Ami Eyes on Etsy, because he hand paints the eyes and they're just so perfect for a hand knitted toy. They just add that something extra, I think, and he gets such good reviews that everybody says that his eyes are just amazing, so I think it's worth getting them shipped over from America. He's in America, and I think he's in Georgia. It's worth getting them shipped over, just to finish off. If you put a lot of effort in, you want everything to be perfect, don't you, when you make something from scratch. And then, so this one's going to be for me, probably, unless my daughter steals it. And then she wants one as well, but I'm going to let her have a little look and choose her own wool, because she's quite opinionated for nearly 3. And then I have a nearly godson. He's not christened yet, but he's going to be my godson, and I think he'd really like a nice little blue one or a green one or something. Probably blue, because his dad supports Cardiff City and their colours are blue. So there's some of my plans. So I mentioned that I'd been doing some swaps, and I showed you some of the wool that I got. Now, one of the other things I got, rustly bag, the lovely Sarah from Ravelry, who I did a swap with, sent me some hand spun alpaca, 2 braids. So there's the one, and there's the other. Oh, it's picking up me, not the fibre. Sorry about that. And the best bit about this, was this alpaca? Oh no, I'm making this up. Anyway, she sent me this hand spun, which is absolutely gorgeous, but also, and it's over there, so I'm not going to go and get it, she sent me some alpaca fibre. I just used the bag, I confused myself, because she sent me some alpaca fibre, but the best thing about it is that it's got a picture of the alpaca it came from, and his name, Freckles. So the alpaca fibre that I'm going to spin is Freckles fibre, and I have 2 ounces of that. I'm not quite sure what to do with that yet, so I'm going to leave that a while and just think about it. I don't know whether to get some more alpaca so that I can ply it together and have 4 ounces, or roughly 100 and a little bit grams. So I've got enough to do something decent with. I'm not quite sure yet. But it's a lovely fawny colour. It's like, it's like the browny colour in that one. Oh, that's very close. If you're watching on a big TV, I'm very sorry, because that's a lot of yarn in your face. Yeah, it's this sort of this fawny colour in there, and it's really lovely and soft. Oh, I could just squish it all day, but then I probably felt it, which is not ideal if you want to squish it and spin it, and yeah. Anyway, she also sent me some sweet mint hot cocoa made with Belgian chocolate, and some very, very posh, hugely high amount of cocoa chocolate, so that's a special treat. My husband, who likes his flavoured teas, especially liked this. There's a little pouch with a cute little mitten button on it, and she sent me a selection of teas. It's a little pouch to carry your teas around. Maybe it isn't for carrying your teas around, maybe it's a pouch for cards and she just filled it with teas. But I like that idea, that somebody would have a pouch in their bag that they take out with them to carry their tea bags. So they've always got their choice, and I love that. I think that's great. And the fabric looks a little bit like Time Lord writing with all the circles and everything. So I don't know if that's what she was thinking when she made it, but that's what I'm thinking when I look at it. So very, very lucky. And I had some other things from her as well, like a magazine of the area she lives, a notepad. Oh, I've got that here. It's a magnetic notepad because I made my notes on it for the podcast. And oh, there was something else. There's a whole box full of loveliness anyway, which is amazing. So then the mini skein swap I did in the Itty Bitty Knits group on Ravelry, I had, well, the top layer of mini skeins. I think I picked out about 14 mini skeins from that box, and then the rest of them got sent on. It was a sort of a round robin swap. But also some people put some little bits and pieces in, goodies to go with it, and there were two things. So first off, some Lindt Froschkönig chocolates. I haven't even opened them yet, but look how cute that tin is! How could I let that go? How could I pass that up? Oh, that looks like that's my face. Sorry. So, they are pralines. I quite like pralines. But that tin! Oh, imagine how cute that's going to be with my stitch markers in it. That's just going to be amazing. It's such a nice size for stitch markers. So anyway, I couldn't resist that. And then also, how could I let this go? Look, little snail. Which is a tape measure! And I'm a sucker for a novelty item. So, here he is, my new tape measure. Aha! It's going to be a she, isn't it? It's not a he, it's pink. She needs a name. Sally Snail? Anyway, that's all good. So, I've been a lucky girl this last couple of weeks with getting things sent to me. I love swaps. It's just, especially when you do swaps with people from other countries, because you get all these things that you don't get in the shops here, and so it's just completely new. I mean, I could send dairy milk to somebody across the other side of the country and they'd be like, oh yeah, lovely. But you send dairy milk to America, and the few times that I've done that, they're like, oh, this is the best chocolate ever, this is amazing. Right, next, I'm racing. I'll have a sip of my tea. Cheers. I think I'm worried I'm going to forget something, so I'm just racing through it at top speed. I wanted to show you what I'm going to spin next when I finish what I'm doing at the moment. This is the next braid that I'm going to spin, and it's this lightish turquoise with little bits of darker green in it as well. So it'll be a semi-solid when it's spun up, and it's got bits of darker blue in there as well. And that's one of mine again. That's an Owl About Yarn. Blueface Leicester. I think there's some more in the shop. You're actually sitting on top of my shop stock. I've got two massive big boxes full of yarn and fibre, and the camera's sort of perched precariously on top so that it was at the right height for me to be able to look into the camera. But yeah, so I'm hoping to spin this up. And as I'm thinking that I'll probably only podcast once a fortnight for now, because I don't know if I've really got that much to say, and I don't want to bore you completely rigid, hopefully I'll have a finished skein of yarn to show you when I next come from this. So, next, I have a text message. I wasn't going to mention how much of a geek I am. I was going to leave that so that you could think I was fairly normal and fairly grown up. But yes, I do have the TARDIS sound on my phone to tell me I have a text message. I meant to put that on silent before I started. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. I'll remember next time. I wanted just to show you, because I haven't got any finished objects that I've just finished. So I thought I'd show you a shawl that I did, because I'll be able to show you this again next time I podcast. I made a shawl for my friend at Christmas time, except it didn't quite get finished until New Year. But she's fine with that, she understands. But I dyed the yarn, and it was supposed to be pale pink, but I got a little bit overexcited putting the pink in the pot, and it went a bit bright. So it's a lovely pink, don't get me wrong, and I love the pattern. I love, love, love. It's Semel, I think it's Semel, by Asa Tricosa on Ravelry. I'm butchering your name, I'm so sorry. Anyway, I showed this to her and she's not a Barbie pink sort of a person, so I've promised that I'll over-dye it, so it's probably going to end up being a lovely purple. But hopefully I'm going to be doing that next week when I have a big dyeing day, or two, so I'll be able to show you the newly dyed, reblocked, dried shawl. Got fluff on it. Next time I podcast. And I think that's more or less it. Future plans. 2 weeks time, 2 weeks today, is Wonderwool Wales, which is big fibre and yarn and weaving and everything to do with sheep and fibre arts exhibition in mid Wales. Highlight of my year, apart from everything to do with my children, obviously, because you know. But Wonderwool Wales, 2 weeks today, which is the 25th. It's on the 26th as well, but I'm going on the Saturday because I don't want to miss out on anything. If I go on the Sunday, they might have sold everything. So I'm going to go on the Saturday and hopefully stock up on my fibre, maybe a little bit of yarn, and hopefully meet some other knitters and spinners and lovely fibre people. And then what else is after that? In May, John Arbon in Devon is having a mill open day, and I'm going to be going to that, so that's really exciting because he has the most lovely fibre, the undyed fibre. I've had some from him before. Oh, it's just beautiful, and you see him at fibre exhibitions and he has these big barrels full of just miles and miles of roving comb tops, you know, like ropes coming out of these barrels. It's just fantastic. Oh, it's like, you just want to dive in there, it'd be amazing. But yeah, so I'm going to be going to that as well. So hopefully I'll have lots of things to tell you over the next few weeks when I have all these little trips out. And hopefully as well I'll be able to show you my re-dyed shawl, my finished sock. I'll only show you my blanket and things like that if I actually make them grow, because otherwise that's just pointless to be saying, oh yeah, it still looks like this, haha. And I think that's about it. So I hope I haven't been rushing through this too much, and I hope I've made some sense. I hope to see you again in about a fortnight. You can find me on Instagram at owlaboutYarn. I'm on Facebook. I've got a Facebook page for Owl About Yarn as well. I just today started a blog so that I'd be able to put this on the blog. And I'm on Ravelry as Jenster79, so feel free to come and say hello or throw in a friend request or something like that. Thank you ever so much for bearing with me this long, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!